We got goblins, we got ghouls, we got trolls, and that just means I'm gonna come through and deliver the fantasy news. I don't disappoint the people. Lights, camera, action.
The fantasy news must flow.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Fantasy News. There's an endless expanse of space out there filled with mostly nothing. We're adrift in a rock inn, but don't worry, that existential threat does not need to stay in your mind, because I'm going to go through and pick up little tiny fun nuggets of entertainment related to fantasy and sci-fi news to distract you from the fact that we just float in an infinite void. And let's go ahead and jump on into it, starting with the brilliant fact that the Broken Earth trilogy is being picked up for adaptation. That's right, the first trilogy ever to win the Hugo Award 3 times in a row from the legendary N.K. Jemisin is going to be brought to you in the visual mediums. We don't know too much aside from that right now, but let's go ahead and get into the details. In Sony Picture Entertainment's second 7-figure deal this week for a multi-book series, TriStar Pictures emerged from a bidding battle to win Broken Earth sci-fi trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. The author will adapt the books herself in partnership with Elizabeth Gobler's 3000 Pictures, and that's actually something I really want to hit on. The fact that N.K. Jemisin is involved with this adaptation herself. Yes! I want this to keep happening. It's like how we're seeing Sanderson write the Mistborn script, N.K. Jemisin stepping in to be involved with her adaptation. That is important in my opinion. Yes, I acknowledge I'm not saying you do not change books when you change mediums. Of course, shifting needs to happen to structure and pacing, but the author themselves being heavily involved is just a good thing. It's just a positive move because they're the ones who know how to maintain the soul of their story the best. Most likely. I can't think of a reason why they wouldn't be. So for those of you who have read the Broken Earth trilogy, what do you think of this in the comments down below? And for those of you who have not yet, does this mean you're more likely to pick it up? I recently finished rereading or finished reading, or however you want to put it, the second book. Look for a review later this week, early next week. So many books I've read that I've yet to review because the book reviews don't always do the best and I have other video ideas. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Leave me your thoughts or just put a word and comment it, because, you know, engagement. Get me boosted in the YouTube algorithm, please. Or don't. You know, you're a little busy, it's fine. It doesn't cost you anything, but you got other stuff to do. I understand. Your hands are doing other things. But in very smooth transition news, you know, we talked about the fact that N.K. Jemisin was the first author to ever win the Hugo Award 3 times in a row for a series that won it all 3 times. That's impressive. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the Nebula Award. Don't say that wasn't a smooth transition. That was vegetable oil on a slipping slide level smooth. Because the Nebula winners have been announced for this year. If you want to check it out, of course, links in the description down below. But personally, my favorite winner here was seeing Network Effect for Murderbot take the win for Best Novel. I have not read everything in this category. I can't say definitively it earned it. Obviously, this is hyper subjective, but it's just great to see Murderbot promoted in any way, shape, or form. I just like that. And to celebrate, a dance montage. I can't dance, so I just jumped on my chair. I hope that was okay. But do you know how authors occasionally have mad beef with each other? I don't think this is the case because there was a friendly bet between the authors behind The Expanse. Yes, there's 2 of them, and apparently George R.R. Martin. Filling us in on the details, James A. Corey, the pseudonym for those 2 authors together, tweeted out. Book 9 is the latest Expanse book. That book has been delivered to the publisher. Now a lot of mysterious things happen, and then at some point things can be ordered, and then at some point books arrive. Also, this means I win my bet with @George R.R. Martin that we beat him to the finish, which I think means we get all of his treasures. Obviously, we have the question now. George, what are your treasures? Are you hiding a mountain? Are you Smaug? Has George R.R. Martin been Smaug this whole time, and him being held up in a cabin somewhere has actually just been doublespeak for the fact that he's in a dragon's lair entering dragon sleep? Things make so much more sense now. But before we get into the rest of the news, quickly, a word from today's sponsor. What kind of ad spot are we getting today? Don't worry, I'll tell you. This video is brought to you by Campfire. Campfire is the all-in-one tool with rippling abs that lets you, the creative, take all those ideas undulating in your mind and excrete them out into the page in as best of fashion possible. If you check out the link in the description down below, you right now can go through Campfire and select which exact tools from their massive catalog you want to try out and just pay for what you use. Literally less than dollars to have something at your fingertips that can take all those ideas you've been fascinated by trying to get out and finally get it done. And I know what you're thinking, Daniel, I'm not writing fantasy, I'm writing sci-fi, maybe even erotica. That's okay. You can still absolutely use their character organizers, their plot navigators, everything there to make sure your glistening, throbbing story is exactly the experience for the readers you want it to be. Nothing's going to become disorganized. Everything will make sense because it allows you to plot out what's in your mind and double check and draw the line. So if you'd like to check out Campfire today, what are you waiting for? What? Go, link in the description right now. You can check out Campfire and enjoy the experience. Do it, it's just a couple cents to try it out, oh my God. And I'm disappointed in nerddom news. Apparently, some people involved with the upcoming God of War game have been receiving death threats. I'm not gonna get into any more specifics behind it because reading the messages that were sent literally upset my stomach. Like, it's just, if you are the kind of person who sends threats of any kind to creatives or entertainers, anything along those lines, you are accomplishing nothing aside from maybe making this person go ugh for a second, and then if they repost what you sent them somewhere, letting thousands of people know you are nothing but a man-baby who has nothing going on in their life, more important than being upset about a game or anything along those lines. It's beyond pathetic. And if I met you in real life, if I knew you were the person who did this, I would feel nothing but pity for your existence. It must be so sad. All right, I need to wash away the grossness of what that just was. Okay, let's move on into fun Saboteur news. And it went in my nose. And Ember and Ash's Saboteur announces a new standalone novel. The YA epic will also be adapted for television. So if you're a Saboteur fan, her upcoming standalone novel, All My Rage, will officially be adapted, and that's just cool beans. And in Elder Scrolls news, and this jacket's now very wet and cold, we got a cinematic for the Elder Scrolls Online Gates of Oblivion launch cinematic. I like it. It looks pretty cool if you want to see a pretty interesting cinematic, but you know, it's just a launch cinematic. Check it out if you want. All right, so let's break this down and get into some business stuff. It's been confirmed that Jupiter's Legacy will not be returning for a season 2. It just had a lot going against it, and further looking into it, it seemed Netflix tried really hard to make this a big anti-superhero thing. While The Boys already existed, and Invincible, released right around the same time, was a smash hit. So this show just it seemed fine enough from some of the reviews I've seen, not glowing or super positive, but when there was adaptations doing a similar thing that were going all out, Jupiter's Legacy, which from some people I trust that I've talked to, which seemed more reserved, just didn't have the engagement to really spread and get the word of mouth that needed to succeed. But what we know now is its budget was around $200 million, and that is quite the cancellation then. This means it must have had pretty tragic viewers to not even attempt a season 2. A lot of these streaming services, even if season 1 doesn't work out very well, will attempt season 2 just to hopefully then blow it up. We've seen that actually work for them in the past. Seems to not be the case here, and I'm sad to see it go because apparently down the line there was some really interesting stuff happening or potentially there for the story, but no, we will not be seeing it, and I just feel bad. Like, it's not a good news. It's not happy to know the passion project I'm sure a lot of these people really put a lot of themselves into didn't work out. And then in the final piece of news we're gonna cover here today, Dynasty Warriors had its live action trailer drop, and I don't even know what my expectations were going into this, but I know I've never seen intentional schlock look so appealing. And I do not mean that in an insulting way. People always say when I say that, like, oh, you're being negative. No, this looks great. Like, the over-the-top, zany, crazy atmosphere with electric guitars blaring and magic sending people flying looks great. I'm sure I will have some friends over, we'll put on Netflix, we'll have a few drinks and have a blast watching this. It looks like a very good time. That's all I'm saying. Check this out. It's literally unlike any other trailer I've seen because it's just wild, and this looks like a pretty true to the tone of the game I remember Dynasty Warriors Adaptation. That's cool. We've gotten some last minute news coming in here that is exciting, and almost I stopped hitting the record button before I checked to make sure, but no, this dropped while I was recording. At least it was posted in the Fantasy News Discord channel. Go ahead and join the Discord server and post news in the Fantasy News channel if you want to be featured here on Fantasy News. But it looks like we are getting a new drop for Discworld. That's right, coming this November, you can get your hands on the comprehensive, updated, and complete Ultimate Discworld Companion. Hashtag 50 Years of Terry. So if you want a Discworld Compendium, this is probably the best one for you to get. Wait for this to come out. And Shadow and Bone has obviously, predictably, yes, been confirmed for a season 2 over at Netflix. Congratulations to them, and I'm really looking forward to it. I didn't absolutely love season 1, but I thought it was good and I had a fun time with it. So, yay! Anyway, everyone, like and subscribe if you have not already. Hit the Patreon if you want to support what I do here. And have a good one, y'all. Peace. And of course, I'd like to record my special shout out to my latest high tier Patreon, Rob Valentine. Thank you so much!